Hello and welcome. My name is Karishma Patel and I'm your host for Unscripted. And today I have a really special guest, so let's just get right into it. Oh, before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and listening in. I really appreciate the love and support. And I'm just really grateful. But now let's get into it with my next guest. Dhara Mistry, welcome to Unscripted.
Thanks for having me, Karishma.
Are you excited to be here? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous, but I'm full from our lunch. So.
Yeah, we were big backing it up and yapping it up. That's for sure. Is this your first podcast?
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
In a studio, yeah.
Okay.
Because when I was invited to a podcast, it was during the pandemic. So obviously it was all virtual. So first in-person recording. So yes. Well, in that regard, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to pop your studio cherry.
Ooh, okay.
This is starting off hot, you know what I mean? Well, okay. Well, tell us who you are, what you do, and what brings you to Austin. Because you're not from here. You're from Houston. But what brings you to Texas, actually?
All right.
Let's start with...
Should I do the long version or the short version or like a medium?
We got time, baby. So
right.
Whatever version you want to bring.
Let's do it. All right. So Dhara Mistry. I'm coming here from Houston, Texas, but originally you're a Gujarati girl born in India, came to the States, lived in Jersey, Portland, Oregon, Nashville, Tennessee, and then primarily in Eastern Washington. And then I came to Texas.
And you said India.
Yeah, I was born in India.
Oh, yeah. No, South India.
Oh, yeah. And then, you're right, yes. And then when I moved to Dallas after I got married, during that time, I got picked nationally to go on an assignment. So I went to South India for 4 months, being a newlywed. And it was actually immediately after, my late grandfather died, and I'm very close to them. And I know you're close to your grandparents, so I know we resonate on that. So... and then we moved to Houston, and then from Houston, I don't think we'll plan to move to Houston. I know my family's always persuading me to come back, but I love Washington, but I think I'm officially a Texas
Yeah.
girl.
I think yesterday I graduated as an official Austinite.
Ooh, what does that even mean?
Well, I guess people from Austin say they're Austinites.
Oh.
Like Californians. But I didn't know. What if I'm even getting this wrong? Someone's going to listen to me like, shut the fuck up.
Who said it, though? Watch it's like a fake Austiner.
Austinite, apparently.
What did
Austiner.
I say? Like astronaut.
Austinite. Well, yesterday I was coming back from a movie thing and a movie event. And my maps weren't working, my Apple Maps or Google Maps. And I was like, oh, my God, I have to fucking just do it. I just have to figure out how to get home. And I knew the directions. And I was like, oh, shit. I've graduated. I'm officially an Austinite.
Like, I almost got you to say Austiner. We're going to start the new trend.
So how long have you been in Houston?
Houston, 7 years is June.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 years for me, too.
Look at that.
Dude, that's weird.
We have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, we have so many. One is we were both born in India.
Correct.
You were born in Gujarat too, right?
Yep.
We're both born in Gujarat. Bardoli, and you?
Billy Mora.
And then we both are really close to our grandparents.
Yes.
My grandparents passed away. My dad's parents passed away, unfortunately. But they passed away after living a really, really long life. So I am blessed and grateful. And then we've been in Texas for 7 years.
Yes.
We're Gujarati.
We love food and coffee.
We love food and coffee, yes.
And we have awesome husbands.
Yes.
Awesome supportive husbands. Keyword.
Yes. Keyword. Let's put that in there.
Yes.
Supportive, underlined, like
bolded,
5 times, bolded, capitalized.
Maybe even make it a bigger size, like 14, not 12.
Yeah. Yes. No, like 20.
Perfect. Let's do it.
But yeah, we just connected really well too. We met on Instagram.
Our dog's name are Simba.
Oh, yes.
That's how we actually...
I was like, why are you staring at me like that?
Yes. No, but that was the main reason.
Yes. Her little tiny dog is named Simba, and my big ass giant is named Simba. But that's another... How old is your dog?
He's 10.
Okay, mine is 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why we met such a long time ago that it's so hard for me to even remember, but we met online.
about 7 years ago.
Yeah, through Instagram. And
because you started posting when you moved to Austin more
Yes.
consistently.
Yes.
And I was new in motherhood and all of that nonsense, so became my creator self during that era. And then you showed up on my feed, and I like was captivated with the Simba part. And then I was just like, wait, is her dog's name Simba? And then I remember DMing you, like, my dog's name is Simba, and you're like, what? And then I think that,
and then we became friends, and then
here we are.
And then when I had the Be Kind apparel, I sent you some stuff.
Yes, I was one of your models and posted all the fun stuff. I still have your water bottles.
Oh, I still
and
have
your shirt.
I need to
your
like
workout stuff.
do like giveaways or something, because I have like a whole bunch, because I stopped the business. I just wasn't happy with it anymore, but I have so much merch.
And my mantra is also be kind. So
yes.
I
Oh yes, yes.
Would be kind. Oh my gosh, we were like more similar than I thought.
Yeah, it's like we were sisters in another lifetime.
Oh my goodness, and then we do refer to each other as
sisters.
Oh my goodness,
it's crazy.
Literally.
So what do you do in Houston now? Because you went from corporate job,
correct,
to now having your own business.
Correct.
Tell us everything and how you even made that shift, because that must have been something, right?
It was definitely something. I mean, full background. Obviously, my parents are entrepreneurs. Your typical Gujarati. So we have, a small independent motel. We've had like convenience stores, like you name it. So like entrepreneur and being a business owner is like natural in our DNA, right? Like we don't want to do it. It's like we just know how to do it. So that's always been like the long-term dream, is to like be your own boss, But obviously, the other dream that I had, my parents had, is, to climb the corporate ladder. So professionally, I graduated. My first job, I don't think a lot of people know this, I actually worked at Enterprise Rental Car.
What?
I was there in their like sales associate program, and when you it's like a whole program, and then you can be like a branch manager and all that. So I did that, and because when I graduated from college, it was when it was the worst time to graduate. So like there was no jobs. And so I took what I could, and I wanted to like leave and, start my independent life. So I took that job, and it was such a humbling job to be decked out in a suit and heels and freaking wash goddamn cars and try to sell that car.
Wait, you had to wash cars in heels?
I mean, they put you, like, talk about humbling experience. So they're like, well, you got to know all the facets of the business, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like when a rental car comes through and then we're getting it ready, like
pull it in.
Oh,
sorry.
When we, like when a rental car is done and someone checks it in to say, whatever, like we're done using it. Like, we were the associates had to like go in the back and like, vacuum it, clean it, all like, so we're doing that. I never knew that. So like,
I didn't know that either.
So I always,
right now.
Exactly. So like those people that work there are only handing you the key and trying to like upsell you on the insurance and stuff, but like we are doing all of that. So that was a very humble beginning, because I was like, I did not imagine myself in like slacks and suits every day to do all that, but I did. And then from there, through connections and whatnot, that would get too long, so I'll just leave it there. I got my job at a Big Four firm in Seattle, so I worked at KPMG for 11 years.
Wow.
And I grew from associate, which is entry level, all the way to manager. I did some cool ass shit. I worked on Fortune 100 clients. I did just a lot of stuff, but it was very toxic. Toxic in the sense that like my manager at the time was very intimidated by me, and I was like, you're young, like bubbly girl, like single, pretty, all that good stuff, and just like straight up hater, and to the point where I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to fucking quit. And then I met my husband, and then when I was getting ready to move to, the other side of the world, because I was in Seattle at that time, I literally actually put in my 2 weeks, because I was like, you know what, this is my out. Like, I'm getting married. Like, we're just going to be done. Yeah. And I remember sending the email, and like the partner of the firm, so her boss was just like, oh, well, we have a new client in Dallas. Like, and they knew how things were over there with me and her and that team. So it was just like, go try it over there. It'll be better and different. And I was like, okay, I could do that. So I continued on while I was in Dallas, got an opportunity and chosen to go abroad to build our practice. So I did that in South India, build a whole practice that still exists there, streamlined it, trained people, onboarded clients, built a whole HR framework for our team there to grow, and then came back. And then my husband got a new job, so we moved to Houston. And then in Houston, I was still there. And then the pandemic happened.
Oh, shit.
And we were all working remotely. And by this point, I've been trying to get more into the HR people side of everything. And it was just so hard because I was so good client facing that they would just pigeonhole me into that. And I was like, but I don't like that.
Yeah.
But at that point, I felt so trapped and suffocated. Like, and our mindset, especially as South Asian culture, like you keep the steady job, you don't fuck with it, like don't mess it up. Like you're stable, it's all good. Like it's a big company, like just stay there,
Don't take risk.
Yeah, exactly. And then during the pandemic, I got like my 2 boys, 2 under 2, running around. I'm on calls. The world is falling apart. Like we had the Black Lives Movement happening. We had the pandemic, like you name it. Literally the world is falling apart. And I'm over here thinking reevaluating life, right? And I could say all of us were thinking that, right? Like what matters, who matters, all the things. The tipping point for me to leave that company, because I was there 11 years, and I'm not going to lie, I literally thought I was going to ride or die there, like grow all the way to partner and like just be there forever. But, the whole George Floyd movement happened, and we're getting back on our Monday manager meeting call, and it was just so business as usual. And I'm just over here like, there's so much happening in the world, and we're not like addressing it. We're not checking in on our people, and whatever you want to believe, that's fine. But like, there should be like a human element of our job. And the fact that we're so transactional and so numb to everything, like it was so disheartening.
Yeah.
And my team that I managed, I know they're like young professionals, so passionate about everything, as am I.
Yeah.
And we had 5 minutes left, and they're like, oh, is there anything else we want to talk about? And I was like, the news? Do we want to like address what's happening? Do we want to like reach out to our staff to check in on their mental and emotional health?
Yeah.
And one of the managers like, Dhara, you care too much.
Oh.
And I was like, that's part of my job as a manager, is to care about my team.
Also, something happened that was horrible, and you don't want to talk about it?
And address it. And it's uncomfortable because obviously not everyone looked like me at that manager meeting.
Yeah.
So, it was just so
Do they
sad.
have people of color as their employees?
I mean, my team, everyone was. So like for
And they're
me,
not even sharing support or...
it was so disheartening. I remember hanging up with that meeting, and this is very theatrical, but it truly did happen. I like walked over to my husband's office. I like truly fell to the floor, and I am sobbing. I was like, this is it. I am done.
Yeah, fuck that.
I was just like 11 years of being underpaid, overworked, not getting opportunities that I want, that I'm advocating for, and still being ignored about. And I was like, fuck this. And my husband's like, enough, be done.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll figure it out. He's like, that's what savings are for.
Yeah.
So I hopped back on, and I was like, gave my 2 months notice. I was very good. And I quit cold turkey.
Good for you.
I quit cold turkey.
Just fuck that.
I was like, what kind of mother am I going to be?
Yeah.
Like, I can't look at my kids and be like, stand up for injustice and humanity, and then not do it myself.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Like, I have to lead by example.
Yeah.
So I left, and then I got like a very expensive resume writer and revamped my resume because I haven't done it. I've been there for 11 years. It wasn't on the radar. And then I got my job at a startup tech company, my dream job. I went from manager all the way to director of HR.
Wow.
And then my favorite job, favorite company, the most amazing boss I could have ever dreamed of. Keyword, startup. So unfortunately, I got laid off.
Yeah.
And then the irony, the day I got laid off, I'm driving, got done telling my husband I'm driving home, and I get a call, and it's a recruiter. And a recruiter was like, hey, are you on the job hunt? And I was like, as of 30 minutes ago, yeah, I actually am.
The way things just fell through, that's crazy.
And then from that, I landed my job at a firm, and I was their chief people officer. So I went from manager to director all the way to C-suite.
Look at that.
And I would have never made it there
if you hadn't quit.
And if I didn't follow my gut, and I was just like, I deserve more. So, and then I was there, and, you know, I was not getting, I got wrongly sold, I feel, on that job in the sense, like, there was no work-life balance, and that was the other reason I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
The KPMG, because there wasn't that, and I have small kids, and I was like, man, like, that's so important to me.
Yeah.
And FaceTiming my kids to bed.
It just sucks.
I was like, they're little. Like, I hate that. So I finally I set my team up for success. They're doing great. Everyone's still there. And yeah, I just parted ways. I was like, you know, this isn't serving me. And
at the end of the day, you got to put yourself first, your mental health first, and also
my family.
Check your family.
Like, my values are there.
Yeah. Like, if something doesn't align with you, like, yes, if it's like something you have to stick it through until you can find something else, because I know there's a lot of people in those situations too. But if you have a safety net, then you got to get out of that toxic environment, you know, and do what's right.
I mean, that's the beauty of it. And I am grateful because, like having savings, having a supportive husband, having talents that you can get something, you know, it all kind of plays into it. But so, yeah, I parted ways, and I tried to, like, you know, lean into, like, just like stay-at-home mom vibes, because I never got to do that. I've been a working mom forever. So, I mean, since I've been working, I've always worked. And I shortly learned after I left my last corporate a year ago, that's not for me. I enjoy working. So I was like, okay, I tried it.
My mother-in-law's the same. My mother-in-law cannot sit. Like, she was working the past few years in the motel business, and then once they sold that, she was just like, okay, I'm going to try to be at home, you know, retired life a little, stayed for like 1 month and already got a new job at Dillard's. And then after Dillard's, she's like, oh, I'm going to get another job now. I'm done with Dillard's. She just cannot sit still. And so is Shay's the same way.
I mean.
And I was like, how are you guys like this? I want to be like this. Because they can't sit still, which I feel like we balance each other out, because I'm like, okay, I think it's time to just relax.
Chill.
And then he's like, all right, come on, you got to get your ass moving.
See, and that's me and my husband. He's a chill one, and I'm just like, let's go. So I realized that stay-at-home mom era, as much as I thought I missed out and I craved it, I learned that it's not for me.
And that's okay.
And it's super okay.
Yeah.
And I think it also healed a part of me, because during my, like, corporate grind hustle, like, I worked so hard. And I'm not going to lie, I do take pride that I was able to do it all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's questionable at times. But I did do a great job showing up for my family, especially my kids, and doing work and climbing the ladder and all of that.
It's so taxing, though, on your mental health.
It is taxing.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, I had guilt at times where I was just like, man, like, I didn't, like, devote enough time to my kids. But again, I learned quickly that's not for me. So I was like, you know what? This all worked out well.
Yeah.
And then I've been coaching on the side since the pandemic, and prior to that, when I was at KPMG. And my husband, he was just like, why don't you just, like, do it full time? Like, you've been doing it passively for like 10 years. And I was like, I think you're onto something. And so
all right,
coaching with Dhara came about August 6th. And when I was just like, let's do this. It's August 6th, 2024.
And then when you started that, did you feel any kind of, like, guilt or, like, you know, because you're starting something new and you don't know if it's certain or...
I mean, it's scary. Prior to the August situation, like, I was, like, thinking about it and really leaning into it. And then we had a tragic loss over the summer, and I think that really put things in perspective, how life is too short. And rather than thinking about going after your dreams, just fucking do it. And if you fail, you fail. Like, who says I can't go back to corporate?
Yeah, exactly.
Who says I can't, you know? But, like, yeah, it could not work out, but I always tell myself and I always tell my clients, but like, what about if it fucking did?
One thing my therapist always says, you never want to sit there and say, what if?
Yeah.
Because that's going to cause you to have regret. That's going to cause you to stay in that what if versus just going for it.
Going for it.
And thank you, Patrick. We love you for that because I have went through so much stuff by just saying, fuck it. Like, what's
100%.
the worst that can happen? Someone's going to say no. Someone doesn't like you. Okay. I like me.
And that's what matters.
And no is, remember, rejection is redirection.
100%.
So you just got to fucking keep going.
Keep going.
It's like the hardest thing. Like for example, I've been like getting rejected a lot because I've been reaching out to like to work with people and brands, and they're like not rejected, but like, oh, we're not taking anything at the time. But it's like a rejection, you know? So it's just like I used to feel so sad, so I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. But then me doing it, I'm like, look, I'm building my confidence. I'm also like, oh, it's okay if they don't want to work for me. It'll happen one day. But you're putting yourself out there, and that's all that matters.
And at the same time, like every time you put yourself out there and it doesn't work out, you're able to like reflect and refine it the next time.
Yes.
So you get better.
You get better at it.
You get better.
Yeah. Thank you, Shay, for teaching me that part. Because I would be like so torn apart. Like, they don't want to pay with me. They don't want to work with me. He's like, you need to calm down. I'm like, okay, you're right. Let me way too dramatic right now. I need to calm down, reflect, and redo whatever I was doing, because obviously that didn't work. So what can I do to make it better?
100%.
And that's like the most important thing with anything.
Everything.
Every single thing you do in life.
Everything. And those that like continue to find fulfillment, and those that people are like, man, they're so good, they're so creative, they're so innovative, it's because they continue evolve.
Yes.
Like those that are stagnant are never gonna like achieve that like highest bliss in their like fulfillment, because they're just like, you know, just on a straight line. When
or
it's
maybe
like,
they want to be on a straight line. You know,
That's true.
There's people like that also just want to stay on their straight line, and that's
also
completely
fine.
Okay. My lines are just like a little.
I'm like a cursive.
Crooked and crazy
and wiggly and swiggly.
I love those kind of lines.
Yeah,
I like
100%.
When my heart rate and adrenaline is up and down.
When we like fall and forget bags in restaurants and run.
Oh yeah, so that just happened right now.
Literally.
We were literally eating. No, right before we
when we
entered the restaurant. She's like, should I leave my bag in the car? And I said, do you have important stuff in it? She's like, yes. I was like, okay, take your bag, because we should not leave that in the car no matter what. We don't even, it's a great area, but you never fucking know.
never fucking know.
And so we went inside, we're yapping away for like an hour and a half eating. And then we come down, we make a reel. And then she's like, oh my God, my bag. And I was like, what the fuck? We just talked about not leaving it. Luckily, the restaurant's great.
They had it in front. It was so good.
That's so sweet of them.
They did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She ran up and she got her bag.
But it wasn't even Ruby. It was some random person. And I was like, what about if I wasn't the owner of the bag? Like, were you not going to fact check that I'm the owner?
You know what? Let's not even look into the details.
Like my HR and consulting side was just like, wow, this is like not a safe control that you put in, like, you know, but...
You know what? We're not going to look into the details.
All right.
Let's just be thankful that you got your bag
got my
back
bag.
with your important stuff.
Yes.
Because that would be not a fun way to start this weekend.
No. It would not.
And you got to go back, you know? Go back to Houston.
To H-Town, girl.
But anyway, going back to how we met, and because I feel this is what this whole episode was going to be revolved around, but I love that we're not revolving around it, because there's also so many things about our lives that we should always talk about.
100%.
And be real and open. But this is really important in my life right now, and I'm pretty sure yours too, because as a woman, and as a woman in your 30s, it is so hard. Early 30s or late 30s or mid 30s, so hard to find friends. Because you're not in college. A lot of people, when they do go to work, it's like just work, you know? They're not trying to take work outside of home.
It's transactional.
work outside of work
to
home.
Transactional.
Yeah, it's transactional. But like, so that going back to how we met on Instagram because, I don't know, we just clicked. Yeah, Simba. And we clicked, and well, shout out Simba. Simba's the reason why I met my husband too. Simba is bringer.
He's a people magnet.
He's a people magnet.
Yeah,
for
hey.
sure. Shout out Simba, I love
Hey.
you.
Also, Simba in Houston. He's not a people.
Simba's everywhere. We love you.
Oh yeah, and the Mufasa movie came out with Simba.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Have you seen that TikTok?
Yeah. What you gonna say to my brother?
Yeah, that was that's so cute. Oh,
It was so cute.
it was.
I want to do it to Shay because I don't have a brother. And
Yeah.
I just want Shay to sit there like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that might not be appropriate. Maybe you could do it to your dogs.
Yeah, I'll do.
Okay. Anyway, back to
anyway. So we met because of Instagram, and honestly, what was the first time we met in person?
last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, during July when I came to Austin.
Oh yes, me, you, and Bijou had lunch, right? Am I tripping? When
No, it was just us two.
Just-
we had coffee.
Oh, yeah.
She was supposed.
Oh yes.
You were supposed to join us for dinner.
Yes.
And you couldn't make it.
Yes.
And
Because it was my birthday.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was that weekend.
Yes, yes.
no, so then the following time in October is when we truly met in person.
Yeah, because, okay.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, July.
It just feels like I've known you for so long.
But we have 7 years
Yes. But like, we never met.
until October.
And then it was just
2024.
like instant.
instant.
What did we do in October? Why can't I remember this?
I was in town again for work.
I
and
remember that.
then-
Oh.
And then my kids were there and we met downstairs
Oh, yes,
for
yes.
coffee.
Yes. And it was raining that day.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
Remember very clearly now. I have a really bad memory.
I got you though. I got you.
But anyway, we met. I was super nervous at first because obviously we're meeting in person for the first
It
time.
was the first date.
But we hit it off. And so that goes to show that you can still make friends in your 30s.
100%.
But how do we make friends in our 30s? And how do we take the leap? It's by putting ourselves out there, just like we
Yes.
were talking about.
Yes.
And if people say no, it's their loss. Fuck it.
100%.
What would be like some of your tips or yes and no's?
My yes.
Red
and no.
flags and green flags of how to make friends in your 30s. Female friendships.
Female friendships. I think one, I personally I'm 38 and I have 2 kids, but that doesn't I don't make that a requirement for me.
Yeah.
Like obviously you're married and puppy kids.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, I have puppies.
I know. But for me, that's not a requirement. So
Yeah.
I'm just speaking for myself personally. For me, I look for friendships of females that are just one kind
Yeah.
and driven. I think that's a requirement for me. And your drive doesn't have to be similar in my if I'm crooked and swirly and you're swiggly or straight or whatever, that's fine. But I love people that have depth and passion. For me, having soulful conversations is what fills my cup.
Yeah.
So going back to your green, I would say you have to first sit and reflect on your values.
What kind of friendship are you looking
what
for?
do you define as a good friend? And
Or what kind too, right? Because you and I were talking about this earlier, last week, about how if you just want a social friend,
yeah.
if you want a friend that you can connect with, have deep talks with, or you just want a workout friend. You know? There's different
fill
types.
out your caliber of what you want, and then also how that aligns to your values, because not everyone
You
is
just wanna
how
have-
you see
yeah.
them to be. So you got to really hone in on, okay, well, these things are really deal breakers,
Yeah, yeah.
and hopefully you're aligned, because that's going to allow for less friction and awkwardness, right? Because
Yeah,
if you're I really love Starbucks and I'm super passionate about it, and you're just dang girl, I only like local coffee, and
Yeah.
that's a deal breaker for you,
Yeah.
then you need to be mindful.
Also-
Granted, that's a really bad example.
Yeah,
but
why
you know what I mean?
why are we supporting Starbucks? I'm
but
sorry to the Starbucks lovers. Come on, get with it.
but yeah, I think that's definitely a green flag or green criteria is think about what you value and make sure that people that you seek out have that. But at the same time, I do want to say, for example, you don't write people off just based on what you see, because some people are easily approachable and outgoing and can open up, and then there's some that need a little space to do that. So
need
you
some
should
time.
never judge a book by its cover. Holds so true in friendship.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a really big one for me, because when I meet someone for the first time, I am outgoing, but I'm also very socially awkward. People wouldn't know that. I hide it very, very well. But when you first meet me, I'm going to be a little reserved, but not because I don't like you. It's because I don't know
what's... You're feeling it out yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. We're on a first date.
100%.
So it's like, I also am really bad at small talk. So that's something I'm working on.
I don't work on it, and I don't care for it.
I don't care for it, but it's also like, how do I get to know someone if I can't even begin a small talk?
No, I just go in for the kill. That's like who I am.
Okay, see, that's something I don't know. I don't know which one to be. Sometimes when I go in for the kill, they're like, damn, she's a lot. And then it's also like, yeah, I don't need that person in my life because they think I'm a lot.
Yeah,
I'm so awkward. I'm like, oh, so the weather is, have you seen Pink Panther? The weather is
no. My friends know I hate small talk. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
I can do it from a work perspective. Like, I can, do your little hi Bob and Susie and all of that. But no, that does not fill my cup. If you're going to catch me in a corner at a party sitting with someone, you better believe we are learning each other's life stories and planning out our 10-year plan together, because that's just who I am. Like, I want to get to the depth of it. Like, I cannot small talk, and I don't admire that. And for me, it's not just necessarily getting in depth, but what else are you thinking about? Like, are you curious? Are you hungry? Are you wanting to grow and develop,
Maybe I'm just not asking the right questions. Cause I'm like if I meet you for the first time, hi, how are you? That's it. I get so fucking shy.
And then I'm going to be, and I think we had this too.
Yeah, we did. Cause I was really shy, and then.
For 10 minutes. It didn't last long.
Less than 10, I think. Yeah. I think I needed coffee, and then it just all the brains started working cells.
Yeah.
But yeah, also because I feel like I felt more comfortable, and not saying that this is what I need to feel comfortable. I think we just relate on we're both Gujarati. We were also you were breaking the ice with speaking to me in Gujarati, and it was really nice. And I was like, oh wow, I feel seen. But no. I don't know. It's just yeah.
I my go-to question.
Yeah, So tell us, what are your go-to questions when meeting people? People for the first time, because I struggle with that a lot.
Well, like I said, I like to go for the big ones.
Okay, I just met you.
Well,
I forgot what you even asked me, but
yeah. So I would literally ask you,
give me 3 questions so we can practice.
Okay. So, hey, how are you?
I'm great.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Hey, so I saw that you're a creator. That's so cool. What do you plan to do that in 5 years?
Whoa.
I would just go for it. I would.
I'm so I haven't really thought that far ahead.
Okay, well, why do you like to create? Do you do this full time?
It makes me feel good. It also makes people happy. And yeah, for now I am doing it full time.
Awesome. That's so amazing. And then are you able to sustain and monetize? If you're able to do this indefinitely, do you think that would just fill your cup?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Amazing.
Wow, that was good.
Because for me,
that was so hard. But it's how you just instantly came up. But also because you said you worked in HR. That makes a big difference. I'm also a
consultant. Yeah. Well, I started off as a consultant, then HR. So asking questions part of my DNA. I'm also a good listener.
You know, it's a great thing you should put out. Just a little content idea since we're right here.
I'm hitting with it.
You should put a series on when you meet people for the first time on how to approach those situations, what questions to ask
and not be awkward.
Yes.
And should I put that and not be awkward?
Yeah. Okay. To help you not be awkward. To help you be less
to break the small talk.
Yes. To break the small talk, here's some questions you can ask.
Let's do it.
You can actually do a whole 10-part series on it.
Let's.
Boom. Just gave you content. See, this is what also it means to have female friendships. You support each other and
genuinely.
Yes, and you give. And you give ideas genuinely. I literally gave her this idea because it just came to my mind. But also, I'll be texting Bijal. I'll be texting my friend Nirja. I'll just always be texting people you should do this, you should do this, you should do this.
Because letting everyone win
not
going to take it away from you.
Period. And it's also, why Do people think that there's not enough space for every single
Girl,
person?
that could
That's
be
a huge
own topic.
Yeah, that's a huge part in female friendships too, though.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a huge, we were talking about a green flag, but this would be the biggest red flag.
Oh, 100%.
Would be like, if you and I met and all you did was talk about how you can grow
by yourself.
And then be like, oh, I'll tell you how I can get there, but let me get there first. They'd be like, oh.
That's definitely a red flag.
That's a huge red flag. But in that same topic, like even just like if there was someone really important in this room and I was like, oh, my name is this, and I completely ignored you.
Oh.
Huge fucking red flag.
Also.
Come on. Introduce the person next to you.
It's a red flag, but I've also observed some people just have bad social etiquette.
Okay, so I'm learning that. I mean, right now, for example, I was about to introduce you to my friend, but she introduced herself first. But she beat me to it. It wasn't that I forgot.
No. I figure. But there's so many, like, a lot of my girlfriends will, like, if we're in a circle, I'll be like, hey, this is so-and-so. And they're just like, they're like, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. And I was like, I'm not going to just sit here and bring you into the fold and then, like, just hold the mic. Like, that's not how it works. Well,
you know why? Because some people are just used to that. Because no one's been like, hey, okay, wait. I've seen you after so long, but here's my friend too that's 100%. Here with me. I think people are just used to not being introduced, and I feel like that's a huge thing too.
That's a huge thing, and the fact that, like, I was just on a FaceTime yesterday with a friend, another creator as well, and she was similar. I'm the same way. Like, if I have an idea, I'll pitch it to my friends. Sometimes they're probably annoyed, like, dang, this bitch is always giving me ideas, I don't want them. But she was having she's an entrepreneur, and she was like feeling stuck in her business, so I gave her this whole like strategy, and like literally she was just like, I didn't even know I could do this, and she's like so jacked, and I was like, absolutely, like, you can do this, this, and this. And I think the other thing is that people like put friends in a box. And like when we talk about depth, the reason I say I like to be deep with my friends is like we're all multifaceted.
Yeah.
And people just assume like, oh, well, Karishma's just a creator, so that's all she can do.
Yeah.
No.
We were talking about this, about niches too. Like,
yeah, like get to know people. You don't know what all they can do.
Yeah.
What their history, their background, their passion, their stories, their struggle.
Box.
Hey.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, box, podcast, girl, all the things, fashionista, like all the things. And that's where I like to get to the depth of it, because you just don't know.
Yeah, same. It's not just like just because they do this.
Yeah,
that's
like
all
don't
they do.
100%.
That's also what, honestly, that's what a lot of women. Example for me is my mom. I'm pretty sure she felt that way her whole life, because she was a stay-at-home mom. So everyone was like, "Oh, you're only a stay-at-home mom." No, bitch. She raised a daughter who's blind. She learned Braille for my sister because at that time they didn't have resources to hire someone and teach my sister Braille. So my mom fucking learned it herself. She is this amazing fucking superhuman. And honestly, I know people say like, it's such a cliche to call moms a superhuman, but
they are.
They are. They're fucking superhumans. They multitask so fucking well.
Yes.
She can do whatever she puts her mind to. And so when people put people in a box, I feel like it always comes back to like people love putting women in a box.
100%. Yeah. Don't be in a box. Don't
be in a box. Don't put people in a box.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you want to be in the box.
Yeah.
If you want to be in a box, stay in your box.
You stay in your box. Please.
Yeah, but if you want to tear down the fucking box, tear it down.
Yeah, tear the fuck down.
Yeah, like outside. Literally. I talk about that with my clients all the time, and they're just like, yeah, I think I want to do this. I was like, it's not you think, just do it. Just fucking tear it out.
But that's a big thing too, right? You won't believe in yourself until someone else says that you can do it.
100%.
So that's another green flag, or it can be a red flag. But it can be if you have a friend and you're like telling them your ideas and stuff, and they're just like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. That's not a good friend. Unless it's actually a really bad idea.
They should be able to back it up then.
But they should be able to be like, yeah, look, that's not a good idea, but you can make it better by doing this.
Yes.
Like,
or they could be like, well, tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more. Explain what you're saying.
Tell me more, and like challenge them. Like,
yeah.
I think people are so used to just talking that they're just not listening.
Yeah,
like ask the questions, be curious, get deep with people, like ask them the why.
Yeah.
I like to podcast. Okay, but why? Like, what does it do for you? How are you serving others? Like, what do you want to do next? Like, there's so many like questions. I think people just will ask a surface of a question thinking, oh my gosh, that's so deep. We talked about, her passion for podcasting, but it's like, yeah, like get to the root of it.
Yeah.
Like truly ask, like, why do you want to hear other people's stories? I'm sure she's going to share that she feels like her stories are not heard. Like there's so much more that can come from it. And people just like be like, oh, I asked the question. It's like, no, but like,
But did you listen?
Yeah. Well, and did you ask more?
Yeah, more. Yeah. Did you ask?
Like get to the core of it.
Yeah.
Like get to it.
Yeah. You need supportive people around you, people who believe in you. Because if you're feeling drained after hanging out with someone, that's another thing. If you're feeling drained after hanging out with someone, it is completely okay to be like, I don't want to hang out with that person again. And if they don't understand, that's on them. But you got to do what you got to do for you.
Yeah, there's no time and space for like pity friendships.
Honestly,
like none.
Yeah.
And if you're a friend that's going through something and you need that space, like have the maturity and the love, not only for like them, but yourself to just say like, hey, like I'm just in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to need some space, like nothing personal. I know you're here for me. And if you need me, like I'll reach out. But like, I think I just need to be by myself. Like literally, like I got off the plane and one of my best friends was just, venting all these things. And she was just like, I just don't want to talk about it. And I wrote back and I was like, I love you. No sorry needed. No judgment. And I was like, I will follow your lead and we'll talk about it as much as or little as you want.
Yeah. I said,
and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. You can't take it to heart.
No.
That's the thing. I was talking to a friend too, and she didn't get the job that she wanted because she failed a test. And I was like, look, I'm here for you. And if you want to talk about it, I'm also here for you. But if you don't want to talk about it, I'm also here for you. You don't have to. But just know that you're not alone and that whatever you're feeling right now is valid. You get one day to be sad, but tomorrow we're going to put in work again.
100%. We cannot live there.
We cannot live there. We cannot dwell in it. We cannot sit in it. We are just going to get back up and keep going.
Yes. Maybe we'll order some cookies.
Yeah.
I think that's a good.
Cookies and ice cream.
Yeah, 100%.
Or pizza.
Or tacos.
Yeah.
Maybe a coffee. Man, we didn't get that
coffee.
We should have
coffee.
We should have got, we should.
Oh, yeah,
no. For sure. I think, and I've been doing that so much in my 30s and friendships as well, rather than like just ghosting on my friends if I'm going through something. I just tell them that.
That was me in my 20s though. And honestly.
Ghosting?
Yeah. But to be honest, I hated confrontation.
Oh, yeah.
I hated it. And it's not my fault. A little bit my fault. But most of it because I grew up around that. Like if my parents got into it, it would be silent treatment. No one talks to each other. So that's what I learned. I was like, oh, so this is healthy.
Oh, this is normal.
This is normal. Check. And then Shay actually called me out on it because I met him in my mid-20s. Oh, crazy. He was like, Karishma, this is fucking rude. Like, you need to talk to me. And I was like, okay, why is it rude?
Yeah.
Like,
you had to learn it.
I had to unlearn it, and I had to learn that silent treatment is not fucking healthy. Yes, you can be like, hey, I just need like an hour because I don't want to say something mean. But after that,
then we're gonna go ham.
We're gonna talk about it. Not go ham. That's unhealthy. But no, then we're
maybe a little.
But then we're gonna come together and talk about it because, when you're mad, you don't want to say something.
No, 100%.
I am the type of person to step away from, like, if I'm really angry, because I will say something really mean. And Shay's the type like, let's solve it right now. And
that's
like,
me.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like,
that's
you need to calm down.
I'm like, let's talk about it.
If you want me to solve it, you need me to calm down.
You need to walk away right now before things get shitty.
But that's a different. So for me, I had to learn that doesn't have to be silent treatment. That means you're just calming yourself down.
100%.
But silent treatment is really bad because that's something I had to unlearn for like, I'm going on 10 years. Now I don't do that. Now I'm like, okay, so what's wrong? Tell me right now. Like, when did I become this person?
You grew.
Tell me right now. What the fuck is wrong with you?
She's like checking location. Like, I know you're here. Yeah, no, 100%. Just communicate. And you don't even have to get into the tea right
No.
away. You can just
Also,
say
you don't
like,
have-
I'm wound up. I just need some space.
That's a thing. When I moved to Austin, I was also telling someone else, I think last week's podcast episode or the week before. But when I moved to Austin, I learned how chill people were. Like I didn't have to go on a whole spiel about why I'm not feeling good or why I can't come to a certain dinner or party, whatever. I'd just say, hey, I'm just not up for it tonight. And my friends, because when you have good friends, they're like, oh, don't worry, chill.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was like, woo, mind blown. I was like, what? People are okay with me not coming out?
When you don't have to think twice
Oh, it's amazing.
and you're like, oh, I'm just going to update, like, it is so refreshing. And that's when you know you're in healthy relationships because
Yes.
you know when you're in situations in the past where, like, if something changes, you're like replaying that
Yeah.
scenario that hasn't even happened.
Overthinking,
And
anxiety.
it's going into like so many even multiple other spirals.
I feel like you're living in my head.
Like literally. And now like it's just such a good thing.
Yeah.
Like this is a first time like for me where when I did my action board, I don't like to call it a vision board because I'm like, let's get shit done. So when I did my action board, for once, my friendship part was blank. Because like I'm so grateful that at this point, granted it took 38 years, that like I have everyone I need. I don't need to explain myself to them,
Yeah.
nor do I have any expectations for them. And should they like hurt or offend me, like there's so much love that I could be like, dang, what did that mean? And they're not going to be like, we're done. Like how dare you come at me with that? You know what I mean?
Or you just go, hey, you kind of like blew up on me. Is everything okay with you?
Exactly.
'Cause
Like you could
that's-
literally have a conversation.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, oh, you blew up on me? Fuck you.
Yeah, like
Which that would have
watch.
been-
Now next time I'm gonna blow up on you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like no.
No. It's more like, hey, it seems like you're going through something. We can totally table this right now or talk about it. Are you okay?
But what do you need?
What do you need from me?
What do you need?
What do you need?
Exactly.
And that's a really important thing with friendship too. That's what something took me a really long time to understand and like get to that, to even have those kind of conversations because I was so scared. But I think it's a great reminder that you don't have to overthink it. Like if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good to you. If it feels good, it feels good. That's how simple it is.
But you should be able to just truly speak your mind
And be yourself.
and they
honestly.
get you.
Yes.
And that I will say, like, if you make a friend now, like there will still be like that dating period and learning curve,
sure.
but like it won't be so painful. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a few friends that I made recently that like I consider so dear to me. Like
Yes.
I would literally put them in at like my circle of trust era, but like it took me a few interactions to like really understand and interpret their intentions and
Yes,
behaviors because we have to understand like everyone is not thinking about you.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
when
yeah,
we
yeah.
are personalizing and
another thing,
internalizing
yeah.
a reaction, a post or whatever, like I guarantee you they're giving zero shits thinking about you.
Yeah.
And it's you doing it.
Yep,
and
yep,
if
yep.
you're thinking about it, you have some work you need to do because no one is sitting and
Yeah.
thinking about you.
Yeah, that's
Unless
one
they're
thing.
in front of you, no one's really being like, oh, well, wait, why did she say that or post that or like, no,
There's
their
no meaning.
world.
That's another thing. There's not always a meaning behind everything
Yeah.
too. It's like dating a guy, right? Like guys are kind of dumb sometimes, you know.
100%. Yeah.
But like when Shay's just sitting there and I'm like, oh, what are you thinking about? You know, when you see those videos, nothing.
Yes.
They're literally thinking about nothing. Like
Girl, my husband's in his 40s, and I'll be like,
it took me so long to understand that. Oh my god, this motherfucker doesn't think about shit. Like
yeah.
it's just sitting there.
Girl, I'm gonna go back from this trip.
Or
You-
thinking about stocks, golf.
all the things. I'll ask my husband when I get home. I'll be like, oh, so you had like 4 days with the boys? Like, how was it? Any profound things? And he's just gonna be like, no, we just hung out. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. And I think we do get in our
Yes.
head, and that's definitely a women trait.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know.
100. But it's not our fault.
No, it's
I
not our
blame
fault.
society. I blame
100%.
the people,
Especially
that-
in our culture.
yes, in
Like,
our
you
Indian
can't be
community,
a South Asian chick and
No.
not spiral.
or not overthink
Yeah,
because
and not-
everyone makes you feel like shit
Yes.
for no fucking reason.
I mean, I'm at the point where I've cut like 99% of them out. So I'm like,
Yeah, I'm actually in a situation right now There's
talk
like
about
my
Let me get
Well,
some
they're
big
gonna
sister
listen-
advice.
if someone listens to this from like a family member listens to this, they're gonna be like, fuck, she's talking about me.
So
But
then you could be like asking for a friend.
yeah, asking for a friend. But there is a situation like in the next couple of months. I'm trying to phrase it in a way that no one finds out what I'm talking about.
Well, then we don't need to talk about it.
No, I want to talk about it
Okay.
because this is real life.
Yeah.
This podcast, me, is about being real as fuck all the
Let's
time.
go, girl.
It's nothing bad. It's just I'm in a situation.
All right. Situationship.
In a couple months is my mom's side. I gave it away. It's a like a trip for a big birthday.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, we can't do this date because there's another big event. It's not mine. It's just like this thing that everyone is going to.
Right.
And they're like, okay, we'll move it to this day. So yesterday I got a phone call and they were like, oh, so are you coming? I was like, I'm not sure yet because I'm still figuring out with Shay if he can go. Because this is a couples thing. And they're like, well, we changed the date for you.
Ooh.
And I was like, hold the fuck up.
Yeah.
They didn't change the date for me. They changed the date because that big event that's happening, a lot of people that are going on this thing are going there. But they put it on me. But that was like coming back to the whole South Asian community. Like people love to blame you because they don't like taking responsibility for their own thing or just can't accept that some people just can't make it. So that was my
take
situation.
things too personal.
Yeah, that was my situation.
So what did you say to that?
I just said, I'll let you know if I can come.
No, but when they like threw that back, like, oh, we changed it for you.
I said, you didn't change it for me. You changed it because a lot of people can't go because of this event.
And I bet you they were probably shocked that you even said that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, no, you have to come.
Yeah.
I was like,
those unnecessary
yeah,
requirements.
but that's what the guilt tripping is, right? Like they pinpoint something. They know you're weak, where they think you're weak.
I was once weak, yeah.
I was once there. But they'll say that, and then they'll go into no, but you have to come. So even if Shay doesn't come, you're going to come, right? And I was like, what?
No,
the
we're
fuck?
a unit now, bro. Like,
But
no.
I also don't want to come without him.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, but yeah, so that was my situation. I was like, I was talking to Shay about it later, and then Shay made me feel validated too. He's like, no, they didn't change the day for you. They changed it because of this thing. And I was like, okay, you're right. I just wanted to make sure because that's what fucking happens. We overthink every motherfucking situation.
100%.
Every time.
And that's a red flag in a friendship. If you
And
are
family.
always in family for sure.
But yes, in friendship for sure, because family,
It's going to be there, unfortunately.
unfortunately, you can't choose who your family is, but you can choose who
Your friends are. Yeah. And I think the other thing I want to say about friendship in your 30s is just putting this out there, and I believe this so strongly, is it is true you will outgrow some friendships. And if that means that you like get distance and like part ways, like that doesn't like have to end on like such a bad note. And what I mean by that is like if you were once so chummy with someone and then you realize that, you know, we're not as aligned or I don't find so much joy in this friendship and you're just taking a little step back, it's okay to outgrow friendships.
Yeah.
Like you always at the end of the day have to make sure that you love yourself enough that you feel whole. Like I would much rather be by myself and like feel a little lonely than to be in friendships that like make me feel just anxious, sick to my stomach, and that ick. Like I keep saying ick because some of them are that.
Yeah, and also like if you have to beat around the bush all the time,
oh yeah,
that's
you
not
can't.
a real friendship because you're literally like hiding yourself from it. You know?
Yeah, and you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah,
and there's the biggest thing: there's no trust.
Yeah, and it's okay. And also like I think people forget we are changing every single day. We're changing every month. We're changing every year. And what aligned with us 20 years ago,
will not align.
Yeah, I loved partying and getting drunk like when I was in my 20s, but now I don't. I like to wake up like, yeah, well, let's go have some wine later. But other than that, like I don't want to go to the club at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. You know, like I just want to chill. Not that I'm old. I'm just saying my values have changed on how I
100%.
look at my life. Like, I like to wake up without a hangover.
Yes.
And fresh and ready for the day and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll have once in a while. We'll go to the club, you know.
Right.
But yeah, those friends are now like my acquaintances.
And that's okay.
And they're still there. That's fine.
That is okay.
But that doesn't mean I have to stay there. And I think that's something like we learn as we grow too.
Yes, you can outgrow relationships, still like wish them well and like wish them well from afar.
Yeah.
And that's probably healthy on all rounds.
Yeah. So the takeaways from that part is, one, identify your values. What are you looking for in a friendship? These are our takeaways from how to build a friendship in your 30s.
Yes.
Number 2 is say yes to hanging out.
Yes.
I forgot to add that part. We were yapping too hard, but yeah, say yes to hanging out. Start with a coffee date
Yes.
because those are shorter.
And you can be done if it gets weird.
Yeah, like,
Because you could be like, oh, I got a workout class, I got a call, and
Yeah,
just jet.
and it's okay. Just get out, be like, or you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
handle your
I gotta
stuff.
get the hell out of here.
Handle your
Number
stuff.
3 is we put evaluate your post coffee date. If it's a
Yes.
no for you, wait for the next move. And again, follow your gut. 2 strikes, you are out.
Yes.
No need to keep trying. That's
Not
what you
not
put.
in your 30s. You don't got enough. I mean, you have time. I'm not saying it's coming to an end.
There's not
but
enough energy.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and also after your post coffee date, if you want to go for a dinner for a longer date,
That's a good test.
yes.
Maybe, I don't know, I would go for a lunch if it was like iffy.
Yeah, I'll do lunch.
I would do it in sequence of the day, like coffee,
do it-
lunch, dinner.
a
Like,
sh-
but really,
or
because like,
coffee, ice cream, lunch, dinner. Because
and then coffee, another coffee I'm just like, we're gonna have coffee after this.
it's 5 o'clock. I better be able to fucking sleep after this.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'll do a decaf. And then number 4 was, we said schedule a coffee date. Number 2, if you're feeling iffy, schedule a coffee date.
Yeah.
Number 2. But if it went well, do a lunch date.
And then
Or do something active together because that's also a different. Or is that too soon?
no, I don't know. I think that'll help like do a vibe check.
Yeah.
That's like a good vibe check.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, oh, I love working out, and they're like, oh yeah, me too, and then you
Let's work out
invite them, and then they're like, oh, like no, I
That's-
was just saying it. It's like, okay, so
Never mind. You lied to me.
yeah, exactly. Red
Red
flag.
flag.
Maybe amber. Maybe like, because it could be that maybe your workout routine
Yeah.
is not.
Aligned with her.
Because I have friends that like love to do bar, but that's not my thing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let's go lift weights. And like, that's not my thing. So like,
Yeah.
we do like to work out, just our
Let's
definitions
find our-
are different.
Yeah.
So go for a walk.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to walk and you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
walk.
Oh, yeah.
So that's,
Especially if you don't want to go for a drink. And also,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say go for cocktails on your first date because it's just like, I feel like
it would be a flooded interpretation
Yes.
of that experience.
yes.
Yeah. Cause
Except for me and Bijol, we went to cocktails on our first date, but we became best friends and now neighbors. So
yeah.
was-
but that was,
that was
but
different.
that's rare.
That's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare. 'Cause
There's always exceptions to the rule.
And then number 5, the last one was you put slow and
I
steady.
did. Yeah.
And make sure it is reciprocated.
Yes.
And that is the biggest one. Make
Yes.
sure whatever you're putting out, you're getting back. Just
And-
like in your dating situation, you know what I mean?
100%. And by that, we're not even saying like keep tabs and be
No.
transactional.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Let's
want
make that very clear because
Yeah.
that is super unhealthy. And also, I didn't even realize we only have 5 more minutes left. Less than 5.
Dang.
We
are
fucking yapped.
I mean, this is like our restaurant right now.
Yeah.
The lady's
Yeah.
trying to talk to us.
Yeah, we'll do another part, I promise, on this. But that was like the main thing,
100%.
main 5 things.
Don't try too hard. Make sure they're showing up for you. And you should feel loved, empowered, and
Yes.
safe with your
you
friends. And yes, it is possible to make friends in your like we're a prime example. And also, I feel, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
Be open to making friends through social media. Like
Yes.
literally, Karishma and I became friends through Instagram.
Yep.
And now like we text, so we don't talk on DMs because
Yeah.
it's that personal. So like, and so many other people like Bijol and Upasna and Shruti and like
Yeah.
there's so many. I just named Austin girls that I know, but like we're all literally like friends.
Yeah.
Like when you've like moved from the DMs to your phone, like it's
That's
a
a friend.
solid friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Go for it. Well, before we end, you are in the coaching business now.
Yeah.
And so how can we support you? How can people reach out to you? I know it's via Instagram. We'll put it online and through the captions and stuff. But yeah, do a little call to action.
All right, here we go. All right, so I'm
30 seconds.
All right. I'm a leadership and career coach and a life coach. I am also PS different because I am legit and certified. So if you're looking to optimize your future and whatever that looks like, achieving your goals, whether it's personal, professional development, I am your girl. We are going to make a plan, strategize, and optimize to make you happy and get your shit done.
Yes.
On your terms.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I had so much fun. And thank you all for listening in and tuning in. New episodes every Tuesday. And I love you so much.